paragraph. Hello everyone and welcome to the Vortex, where lies and falsehoods are trapped and exposed. I'm Michael Morris, coming to you from Davao City in the Philippines. A lot has happened in the Philippines since our trip here last year, much of it bad. Last year, contraception was illegal here in this country. Today, it is as legal as it is in the United States. Now, that might not seem very earth-shattering for Catholics in other parts of the world who have grown accustomed to the evil of condoms hanging from store shelves in the local drugstore and birth control pills being dispensed over the counter. But in this traditionally Catholic country, this is a huge turn of events. Consider that not that long ago, all over the country, the days would come to a complete standstill at noon or 6 p.m. so that the entire country could recite the Angelus prayer commemorating the Annunciation. Get this, the entire country. Traffic would be stopped, radio stations interrupt the programming, school children would stop playing, courtrooms would halt their due process, lawmakers would cease debate, all for the 1-minute recitation of the Angelus, all over the country, every day. Not anymore. Today, the Philippines is slowly but surely turning into America, complete with a hostile indifference towards religion. Perhaps nothing symbolizes this more than the scene during the recent debate between national lawmakers on whether to legalize contraception. The debate happened last December. A Catholic woman lawmaker stood up in the Filipino Congress and said she would not rest until every Filipino has the right secured by the law to, quote, have safe, satisfying sex. Those words echoing off the chamber walls where a little less than a generation ago, the Angelus could be heard on a daily basis. Today, Filipino lawmakers sound like Nancy Pelosi and Ted Kennedy, and Joe Biden, John Kerry, Christopher Dodd, and all the other turncoat Catholics in the United States government, dozens of them, who have helped push America into oblivion. Now the dominant language in Filipino politics is about rights, everyone's right to practically anything they can imagine. In fact, had it not been for an enterprising group of stalwart pro-life Catholics monitoring the backward dealings of the national government, the Philippines would already have same-sex marriage. A second bill, in addition to the contraception law, which is famously called RH, reproductive health. The second bill being that preventing any kind of discrimination based on sexual orientation, including marriage. It got to within days of being made law before being disposed, and its proponents had to back down for now anyway. But it's coming. It has passed in both the House and the Senate here in the Philippines. It was merely going through some last-minute reconciling when it was discovered and supporters backed down. How much all this moral rot has been creeping into the Philippines and what is coming next was the subject of a nearly 2-hour meeting we were privileged to have with the Archbishop of Davao, His Excellency Romulo Valens, an extremely gracious man. He listened and asked many questions. He wanted to know how all of this legal enshrinement of sexual immorality has played itself out in America, what the process was, what could be expected next here in the Philippines. Patiently, he sat listening to our explanation and laying out of what you could expect next, the tactics of the Philippines, including wholesale use of the media at every level. We talked about strategies for fighting back and combating the diabolical effort of governments and agencies hostile to life and the Catholic faith. And then something a little curious happened. I said to him, Your Excellency, you know that you are this close to becoming just like America in the Philippines. The beautiful Filipino experience of family and community is about to be washed over like a giant tsunami. This close. Then he put his finger and thumb together and said the same thing. He said, this close. And he rubbed his face and his head and he moaned and said, yes, I don't want you to come from America and tell me this, but I know this is true. 4 more times during our talk, he said, this close. When a country whose lawmakers and people used to say the Angelus collectively as an entire nation, now we're talking about the right to safe and satisfying sex, then yes, it really has come this close. God spare our people, and God love you, and Michael Moore is coming to you. Concentration.